video, and I know I said I was going to sleep. I was going to try to get some rest. But ever vigilant. There's a fascinating video that's in my queue. And it's one thing to get political advice online on YouTube or something to that effect. It's another thing to get political advice on NBC News. Meaning you would think that mainstream media would have the top echelon of people who are recounting information and opinion, seeing as they're trying to create the opinion for the rest of the nation. Meaning the opinions that these guys give, they're to some degree dispensing those opinions to the rest of the population. These are what are acceptable ranges of debate and conversation. Beyond this, it's treachery. So you would hope, you would think, there would be some idea that the person who's saying something would not be showing early signs of senility or just completely and massively, radically disingenuous in what the person is saying. It doesn't even make sense in a logical way, let alone make sense, meaning the even premise that the person is using in order to make this point doesn't even make sense. And yet, Hugh Hewitt has a job as a radio show host, but he also has a job as an NBC commentator, and he spews this nonsense, I suppose, to back up Donald Trump, but it is utterly and completely detached from any known reality to which I inhabit. Take a listen to Hugh Hewitt talk about Donald Trump and Maduro, making an argument that Donald Trump is going to take down Maduro and then instigating a coup in a Latin American country, essentially embroiling us into Latin American affairs that have no business, we have no business involved in, that is somehow going to be the defining thing that unites America. I shit you not. Even Chuck Todd looked at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? Let's take a listen.
That will help a lot.
I think that because there's this
word cloud.
Let's do it this way.
The next 33 weeks allow the opportunity to go big and solve this. Jared Kushner is leading it, and it is far more important to shut down the Maduro government than our government. And I think Donald Trump is leading there, and he is winning there because of Bolton and Pompeo going down to see Bolsonaro and Duque. That's going to happen. That's going to bring us together.
That is going to bring us together?
I think America
getting involved in a Latin American politics that has never gone well for the United States
because,
in years past?
Russia is...
Even Chuck Todd, Mr. Oblivious, even Chuck Todd is like, whoa, 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 whoa. Did you say getting us involved into a Latin American conflict where we're trying to instigate a coup into a country that we should have no business being involved in? Is that what you're saying that's going to bring us together? Yes, that is precisely what I'm saying. Even Chuck Todd called BS on us. He was like, this sounds like utter nonsense. You're trying to spew nonsense on my channel, buddy. Chuck Todd said it with a smile, but this was utter lunacy. Do you honestly believe? I ran into people who weren't necessarily patched into politics, and they mentioned the Venezuelan affair. They were in the dark on this stuff. For the most part, they're just taking the narrative that they're being given. But they don't... This thing of care is completely missing from this topic, from people who aren't necessarily paying full attention to it. I mean, to me, I care because it's talking about this looks like it's going to devolve into a civil war. I don't necessarily see how it devolves in another way. Maduro's not going anywhere. Maduro is the elected government of that country. The United States is pretending as if he's not the elected government of that country. So you can see there's a certain amount of pressure that's being applied to Venezuela economically, but not just economically, also with threats and with military threats by what is essentially a superpower. I guess, not to mention, there's this threat where the Maduro government tried to eject American diplomats, and the United States said, we're not moving our diplomats. Now, what do you do if you're Venezuela? Do you lock up those American diplomats? Because technically they're in the country. You, as a sovereign of that country, can deny somebody access to your country if you want. You can say that this person is, no persona non grata. And for the most part, you can revoke their visa. But the United States is essentially saying you can't revoke the visa of somebody in your own country. You're the sovereign of your own nation, but we're not allowing you to revoke the visas. And we dare you to do anything about it. This is, severe. This is violence. I mean, at this level of restraint. Let's take it to another step. Guaidó himself. Guaidó himself has been working with a foreign nation that has been an enemy of the Venezuelan government. Hell, the government tried to foment a coup in 2002, did foment a coup for a short period of time before Chavez was able to come back to power. The opposition leader has been conspiring with this foreign adversary to take down the government of Venezuela. The foreign government that the person has been working with is not doing this for the best interest of Venezuela. Is doing this to get his hands on the products and create further exploitation in Venezuela. That is the point. Now, under this guise, this guy is treasonous. And if this was in the United States, he would have been hung or shot, at the very least put in prison. But in this case, again, the sovereign of Venezuelan, Maduro, cannot touch him for fear that the United States would intervene in a more heavy, direct way. There's violence that's being used in a sense of sanctions that are grossly illegal, but there's also a violence that's taking place in the standpoint of depriving Venezuela its own, you could say, constitutional integrity. But whatever is taking place in Venezuela is not going to unite the country behind Trump. This is utter madness. He can't believe this. And if he does believe this, he needs to have his head checked. Hugh Hewitt, let's hear him again. I want you to hear this again because I found this to be an amazing comment. I was like, what? There's no way he could have said this. But yeah, he did.
Word cloud. The next 33 weeks allow the opportunity to go big and solve this. Jared Kushner is leading it. And it is far more important to shut down the Maduro government than our government. And I think Donald Trump is leading there, and he is winning there because of Bolton and Pompeo going down to see Bolsonaro and Duque. That's going to happen. That's going to bring us together.
That is going to bring us together?
I think America
getting involved in a Latin American politics that has never gone well for the United States?
Absolutely, because
not just not gone well for the United States. What the hell do you think it was doing to those nations? I mean, if you're talking about just in recent memory or in my lifetime, the Iran-Contra affair, where Reagan was selling weapons to Iranians in order to fund bloody death squads in Nicaragua. Yes, it was bad for us, but it was doubly, triply, 1,000 times as bad for the populations that was living under the brutal dictators that we were putting in those various countries. Mr. Oblivious, once again, it's bad for the United States. It was hell for those other countries. Mr. Oblivious Chuck Todd. I'm sorry, let's keep going.
Russia is against that.
I understand
Trump
that.
is for that, and that will help. That will help a lot.
I think that because
Russia is against that, Trump is for that, that would help a lot. Okay, Hugh Hewitt. I just wanted you to hear that. Some of these people are absolutely mental with this thing of taking down another government and this idea that the United States should have some kind of leeway in regard to telling these countries how they or who they should put in charge of their countries. And this lunatic has gone so far down the well that he believes that there's going to be a kumbaya moment in America when Donald Trump illegally takes down another government in government in Venezuela. It's utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. I end this here. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. You can always support the PayPal or Patreon. Thanks all. And